George Kambosos Jr. versus Devin Haney. The Ferocious One versus The Dream. It's finally official. The fight is finally official. Fight's taking place on the 4th of June, June 4, 2022, live over here in the United States of America on ESPN. Regular ESPN, it seems like. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Finally, after all the talk, it's finally happening. Fight will be taking place, as you guys can see, over in Australia at the Marvel Stadium in Melbourne, Australia. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who can't wait. I'm pretty sure all of us can't wait for this fight. A fight that will determine who the real undisputed champion is in the lightweight division, to take away all the doubts on who's the real WBC champion. If you guys don't know, Devin Haney holds the regular WBC belt, and Kambosos holds the franchise belt after he defeated Teofimo Lopez. This is a fight to determine who will be, the best fighter right now in the lightweight division, 135 pounds. One may argue that it's not for the best, not necessarily for the best, because a lot of people think that Lomachenko is still the best at 135. But in terms of who beat who, with Lopez beating Lomachenko and George Kambosos beating Lopez, now, the winner of this fight, I would say, will be the best fighter at 135 in terms of, who they've beaten. And like I said, it will determine who the real undisputed is at this division. It will take away all the doubts, all the arguments, and all the confusion of who the real champion is, specifically when it comes to the WBC. See, this is why I don't like the franchise belt, man. It just created so much more confusion, and yeah, it sucks. I mean, look at the WBA. I think everybody agrees that the WBA, the Super WBA belt, is the legitimate belt compared to the regular WBA. But that's not the case for the WBC. Some people still consider Devin Haney the WBC champion, even though he didn't really, beat anyone to really win that belt. But anyway, I'm excited for this one. I'm sure everybody is. Keep in mind that it looks like since it's on Saturday, June 4, I guess it will be shown live on June 3 here in the States. I guess that's what it looks like. But yeah, it's gonna be a great fight. No. The poster, they need to change that. So I guess stateside, because they're promoting it in the States. So stateside, it's saying June 4, but in reality, technically, it's June 5 over in Australia. So June 5 in Australia, but June 4 here in the States. June 5 in the afternoon in Australia. So yeah, man, that's gonna create some confusion there. But I guess if you live in Australia and if you're listening to this right now, it will be on June 5. If you live in the U.S., Canada, Mexico, on this side of the world, it will be on June 4 nighttime. So keep that in mind. And George Kambosos, as we all know, undefeated, 20-0, 10 wins coming by way of knockout TKO, coming off the big win against Teofimo Lopez back in November of last year, where he won all the belts, and now here he is defending those same belts against Devin Haney, undefeated fighter from Vegas, 27-0, 15 wins coming by way of knockout TKO, coming off a win against Jojo Joseph Diaz. For this fight, he has signed with Top Rank and DiBella Promotions. You gotta give him props, man. You gotta give Devin Haney props. He could have easily stayed with Eddie Hearn and fight on the zone, fight for $3 million, fights that we know he will win, fight easy fights. He could have easily done that, but here he is, apparently taking a much more lesser paycheck and signing with the promoter just so that he can make this fight. And he said it himself, it's all about the belts. He wants those belts and he's willing to do it. He's proven that if you really want to fight, you can make it happen. There's just sacrifices that you need to make in order to make those fights. And Devin Haney has proven that he's willing to do what it takes in order to make this fight, to get those belts or at least an opportunity to get those belts, and it's happening. And if you guys don't know, there's a rematch clause. If Devin Haney wins this fight, he has no choice but to fight Kambosos again in Australia, and yeah, it will be on ESPN again. And if he wins, the way it looks like, if Devin Haney wins against George Kambosos, he'll be fighting Lomachenko next. It looks like that's part of the contract, part of the deal that they've made, that he's made with Top Rank and Lou DiBella and ESPN. So that's 3 fights already set for Devin Haney if he wins this first fight. Now, if he loses, I don't know what will happen. They'll probably, he'll probably go back to Eddie Hearn. So yeah, a lot is at stake for the young Devin Haney. The dude's only 23 years old, man. He has a long, long future ahead of him. And here he is fighting for undisputed status in the lightweight division. So, I'm excited, man. And when it comes to Kambosos, like about a day ago, I think when they agreed on everything, like reports came out that they agreed on everything, somebody interviewed George Kambosos. And Kambosos was talking about how he still needs to see the contract to make sure the signature is legit, this and that. And he got a lot of hate for that. And honestly, can't blame people hating on him for that, because like, why do you need to know if the signature is legit? If he signed it, he signed it. Why do you have to look at it? So because he said something around the lines that he has to look at the actual contract to see that if it's actually a legit signature. Oh man. Anyway, I'm just happy that the fight's happening. Looking forward to it. Again, June 4 here in the United States of America, June 5 over in Australia. So keep that in mind. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And like always, have a great day. Alright, thanks.